This is Houston. Say again, please.
Houston, we've had a problem.
Hey there folks, and welcome to another Friday rambling of mine. I am once again tucking into my first Miller, and it happens to be a long weekend as well. Woohoo! It's a bank holiday, so I'm off on Monday. The joys. So I am once again going to ramble away about a topic or two. I may well post up 2 videos tonight. Yes, you heard me correctly. You have been blessed with 2 videos of me rambling on about something that interested me. The first video, however, this particular one, is with regards to leaking news this week that the Xbox 1.5 and the Xbox One Slim are both real things and coming our way. This is a leak. It came from Kotaku, I believe, who sort of know people in the industry, and it's leaked out the same way that the PS4 codenamed Neo did, or whatever it's going to be called in the end. Where there is going to, well, firstly, to reiterate, this isn't fact, it is a report from Kotaku, but it's pretty solid. And this year, 2016, they are apparently launching or releasing a slim version of the Xbox One, which has a 2 terabyte hard drive in it. And I think that's a great move. I think the 500 megabyte hard drives were an appalling move in the first place, because there was never ever going to be enough room on those hard drives for the size of games that we've got to play on these. I mean, if the game sizes had stayed the same at a 10 gig install, then fine. But they gave us a 500 gig hard drive, knowing fine well that every game was going to be about 40 gig to install. So they were never a good idea to have those in. So the 2 terabyte is an absolutely brilliant idea as far as I'm concerned. I think we've only seen 1 terabyte things until now. I think there is 1 terabyte. Yeah, there's 1 terabyte PS4 certainly. I'm sure there's. So the 2 terabyte Xbox One's great idea. Slim boxing also a great idea. I don't mind the look of the Xbox One, to be quite honest, but it is a bit of a clunky looking box in comparison to the PS4. But hey, if they can make it slim, maybe, this isn't part of the report, but maybe they'll make it so it can sit on its side as well, which a lot of people were quite annoyed that the Xbox One couldn't sit on its side like the Xbox 360 did, because a lot of people don't have the space and an extra shelf to lie it down. So it was nice to, like I did with my Xbox 360, I actually had it tucked behind my massive TV because it was a flat screen. There was nothing behind it, so I just sat it behind it. So a lot of people were a bit displeased, I think the word might be, that couldn't happen at launch. So it'd be nice to see if they can do that. So the second part, without any doubt, they will launch that at E3. I can't imagine they're not going to mention an Xbox Slim at E3 if they're launching it in 2016. So I think that will become fact within June when E3 is on. I forget what dates E3 is on, but it's definitely in June, and I'm sure it's early June as well. So it'll be interesting to see just what they announce at E3. The second part of this story is about the so-called Xbox 1.5. Now, whether they call it that or not, no idea. It'd probably be called something else. It'd be nice. For me, these particular things are almost like the old Elite systems, so far as there are different types of gamer in the world. As far as I'm concerned, there's the gamer that's more than happy to buy the sort of entry level package, let the kids play on it, or even if they're just a part-time gamer, they just want to get a great experience and not worry about the refinements or the finer points of an extra rock being slightly curvy on the outside. Then you've got those kind of gamers. You've also got the gamers who are willing to spend the extra money to get extra things out of whatever they can and cream as much as they can out of it. And when Xbox 360 was kicking around, we had the Elites. We had the basic bog standard one. I think there was a mid-range one as well. And then you had the one that was black, which was the Elite model, which came with a massive hard drive, massive in those days' terms, and so on. So for me, this is no different to that, other than, in a good way, as far as I'm concerned. I've talked about this in my PS4, the Neo vlog. For me, this is a good thing, that they're going to push Elite type things out, but they're going to give us better hardware in them. So it's not, you're not talking about a PS5 or an Xbox 2 or whatever the hell they'll call the next one. You're talking about a slightly tweaked up version of that, and you will not get any exclusive content for it. It will just be a slightly Uber version of the Xbox One or the PS4. But in this case, we're talking about Xbox. So what I believe is happening, and what I've read is happening, is that the Xbox 1.5 will have increased graphical. I think they were talking about the RAM, and that to me suggests that they were going to they might change the RAM to DDR5 possibly, and they were talking about the graphical elements of whatever the graphics card is in the Xbox One, and tweaking that. However, they were also talking about concern that they didn't seem to have any reports of them changing the bus of the Xbox One, the I/O bus as it were. So that means that if you're going to increase the graphical capabilities and stuff, the bus of the system hasn't changed, therefore it would take longer to install games and such like, because it can't pass the information as quickly as it was doing. How much of a difference that is, we don't know, and we don't know if they are going to change the bus anyway, so it will be interesting to see. But much like the PS4 story, there wouldn't be anything exclusive for this. It would just be an Uber version of the Xbox One. Now, the other big reason for them doing this sounds like they want to package it with the Oculus Rift. And in packaging it with the Oculus Rift virtual reality headsets, they can then compete directly with PlayStation and their virtual reality that they've now got available to. I think it's available. I'm not going to be bothering with it at the prices that they're talking about, but they will be able to then compete with them directly. And the Oculus Rift is, I don't know, from what I'm hearing, the Oculus Rift seems to be the daddy. There's so much. Well, it's been developed for so long, over such a long time, on so many different PCs and such like. I believe the Oculus Rift is the slightly more Uber one. And it's not a huge surprise because they've been packaging the Xbox One controller with Oculus Rifts. So they've obviously got a relationship there. But I think they know that to get the best out of the Oculus Rift, possibly the Xbox One doesn't have quite enough push to give it the best experience. So just by tweaking it a little bit, it will give people a better experience with the Oculus Rift. And that makes sense to me. Much like I think part of the reason that the PlayStation, that Sony are doing the same thing with the PlayStation 4 is possibly because they know that by doing a slightly more Uber version of the PS4, that the virtual reality headsets will work slightly smoother. So I think it's a great idea from both of them. I hope they both run with it at E3 and tell us this is what's happening. Now the only downside to this for Microsoft is, well, actually it's for both of them really, but for Microsoft's point of view, they're saying they're doing a slim version of the Xbox One with a 2 terabyte hard drive. Why would I go out and buy that if I know that there's a better version coming? There would have to be a significant price difference between the two for me to not buy. I mean, it would have to be really cheap for me to go out and buy the Slim. So why would I do that when I know that in 2017, early 2017 or whatever, there's going to be a better version of the Xbox One, and therefore I might as well just wait. So that'll be the interesting part. But as I say, I think there's several types of gamer in the world anyway. And I think, for example, mums and dads having to go out and buy their kids consoles at Christmas time, and games to go with them and all the paraphernalia to go with them. Those are the people that may well just go for the Slim with all that they need. They're going to get a great gaming experience. It's the same experience that everyone else is getting. And the people like me or you who are watching this that are slightly more Uber gamers and spend a lot more time in those worlds and want the very pristine and crispest possible experience they can get will be the ones that hold out for the more Uber version of the Xbox. So I think this is great news. I think that I do think that Microsoft are certainly doing the slightly more Uber version of the Xbox One slightly in a reaction to what PS4 have done. Having said that, the Oculus Rift being tied into it may suggest that they were already thinking about it. But they already had a relationship with Oculus Rift, so it wouldn't have been that much hard work for them to go, "Ooh, how do you feel about packaging and putting it in with it?" So yeah, it's interesting. I think without any doubt, it doesn't matter what each of them do, they both kind of react to what each other are doing. I found it interesting that Sony haven't reacted to the backward compatibility program in any way, but I think it's because they invested so much money in the Now TV or whatever it's called. Not Now TV. Christ, I forgot what it's called now. But anyway, they've got their service running where you can play all of the old PS3, PS2 games or whatever online via their service, and you pay for the games. So they were never going to... I don't think they were ever going to react to it because they paid all that money for that particular service to get it up and running. But they do tend to bounce off each other anyway, so it's not surprising. But I think this is all great news for us as gamers, with loads of options to get us excited about. And as I've said in my other video, I'm much happier paying for a slightly more... Well, if I'm going to buy another one, I'd much rather pay for the slightly more Uber version. So rather than just buy one that's slim with a bigger hard drive, I'll buy the Uber one that's got a bigger hard drive in it and get a slightly crisper performance. I'm certainly not going to rush out and buy one because I don't do a huge amount of gaming on the Xbox One. I do most of it on the PS4. Generally speaking, I only play exclusives on the Xbox One or games that my mates are playing on the Xbox One. And at the moment, that's kind of the Division or a bit of Destiny. So it's only really the exclusives. But the backward compatibility stuff, as I've shown on the channel, I've been playing. It's been great playing the game. I mean, it probably turned into a big Xbox 360 really, because playing the Xbox 360 games, looking so beautiful and playing so smoothly is fantastic. So I'll be doing loads of the backward compat stuff. I'm holding out. I noticed that I was reading the backward compatibility list update, and they were saying that the Fable anniversary is coming to it. So I'll definitely be doing a few episodes of that for people to see. I did a few videos on Fable 2 and 3 and people really loved the fact I put them up. There was loads of views and thumbs up and stuff for those. So I'll definitely do one of those for anniversary, because Fable Anniversary, or Fable 1 as it were, I think is most people's favourite. So I'll put that up, and because once again, when I played that on the Xbox 360, I noticed a lot of screen tearing and stuff in it. I mean, it was great game, great play, but I think without any shadow of a doubt, if they do what they've done with that one, as they did with the other two, it'll play a lot smoother, and all that screen tearing will be gone. It'll be lovely to play that game again. I think I've got plenty of achievements I could go for. So there you are. So it's slightly exciting. I'm really looking forward to E3 coming up. I'll do some videos on E3 when it happens. I'm going to try and watch all the stuff live. If I'm at home, I may have to travel for work and stuff, but if I'm at home, I'll try and watch it. Certainly, I'll be keeping an eye on it one way or the other, and I'll do a couple of videos on my feelings about what I've seen at E3 and what's been going on. So that's all come out, so I'm excited to do that. So there you are. So that's it for this particular video of Friday. I have a urge to do another video, and you'll all find out what that is if I record it and when I post it up. It has been an honour and a privilege serving and rambling on for you all again this fine Friday. I'm off to enjoy my beer, as always, with a bit of Jules, and I will get plenty of gaming in this weekend with having the extra Monday off. You guys take it easy. Bye.